Are you ready to talk about the Apple M3 silicon? Yeah. What do you mean M3? We haven't even seen M2 yet, right? Well, Mark Gurman is ready to talk about it. He's claiming that Apple is already in development of an M3 processor. And yeah, we know we don't even have M2s yet. But to be fair, Apple is likely several years out and working on most of their processor designs. I don't think that should be too surprising to most of us. And Gurman also does reiterate that Apple still is planning on releasing several M2 computers before the M3 comes out, and even claims that we could see an M2 as early as June. He's expecting Apple to have an M2 chip for the MacBook Air, the entry level MacBook Pro, and the Mac Mini, and then, of course, followed by M2 Pro and M2 Max chip designs for the 14-inch MacBook Pro and 16-inch MacBook Pro. And he even says an M2 Ultra chip, dual Ultra chip for the Mac Pro. So number of M2s still on the way, but as for the M3, he says he expects Apple to release it in an updated iMac, which is interesting because that means maybe Apple skips an M2 version of the 24-inch iMac, and he says he doesn't even expect the iMac to happen until maybe near the end of next year. So could we go a whole nother year without seeing an updated 24-inch iMac? That seems a little bit odd to me, but that's what Gurman is saying, and that's when we'll see the M3. He also says that Apple is working on an iMac Pro, but don't expect to see that anytime soon. And he doesn't really specifically name which processor would be in that. But I think a lot of us were expecting maybe an M1 Max or an M1 Ultra version of the iMac Pro. Maybe that doesn't happen either. Maybe they hold out until the M3. But I don't think too many of us are going to want to wait that long. We are still expecting Apple to have the Mac Pro out probably before the end of the year. He didn't really comment on that either, but at the very least, we are expecting several new M2 Macs out before the end of the year, so a lot of announcements still coming, and it will be a great year for the Mac, no doubt.